The tri-state is pretty well laced with trains and train tracks. One of the regular routes runs along Kentucky side of the river. A particular trestle that appears to be crumbling has some river residents on the Ohio side concerned. Local 12's Rich Jaffe joins us from New Richmond with a look at what they're worried about with this potential trestle trouble. Rich?
Brad, while you can't quite see the tracks from here, they're just on the other side of the river. And every evening, all along this side of the river, you can hear the haunting echo of a train whistle coming across as the train makes its way basically down Route 8. But a few miles upriver from here on the Kentucky side, a crumbling trestle has a group of homeowners worried that it might be a catastrophe in the making. It's not hard to see why people who live along the river are concerned about the train trestle over Holt's Creek. It's clearly crumbling. Dan Avra first noticed it early this spring.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it looked like the whole thing was ready to fall in.
The trestle is about a mile downriver from Meldal Dam, right across from the Neville boat ramp. Much of the fallen concrete has now blocked the entrance to the creek, and it continues to crumble. The abutment in front of it that used to be vertical has slid and shifted down the bank.
Continues to deteriorate. That wall continues to shift forward into the river, allowing the back gravel and stuff to kind of slide in.
Early on, Dan contacted CSX Railroad.
They told me that they would get a crew out here and inspect it and see if it needed any work.
You ever hear back?
No, I didn't hear back from them.
So we reached out to CSX, and it turns out they are very much aware of the spot. In an email, CSX spokeswoman Caitlin Barrett told me that last year the company installed a new steel bridge for one of the tracks, and the structure was found safe for railroad traffic on April 20th of this year. That said, for families who live along the river and love it, the concern and level of awareness will remain high.
It concerns me that with all the chemicals and the hazardous materials that are carried on the trains, hundreds of cars at a time, that if there was to be a spill, it would just completely ruin the river. The drinking water for all the towns below it, Cincinnati especially, we get our drinking water from the river, and New Richmond also.
Now, that CSX spokeswoman told me that according to federal guidelines, bridges like the one we showed you are inspected at least annually by CSX inspectors. And as I mentioned in there, that trestle, that bridge, was inspected by those same people back in April. So regardless of how bad it looks, according to the company, that bridge is safe for travel. Let's hope so. In New Richmond, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News.
Rich, thanks
Brad,
very
Paula?
much. I appreciate it. If you are concerned about something that you see on or near CSX tracks, contact the company. We've got a link. Tell CSX, including a phone number and an email address at local12.com. You can just click on that red Get It button.